Hi everybody, welcome back to Marie's Kitchen. I'm so glad you're here. Today we are making currant scones, and this recipe is so easy. It's 6 ingredients, 1 bowl, and they bake up in about 16 minutes. I can't wait for you to try these. Let's get started. We'll start with 2 cups all-purpose flour, and you can use a gluten-free flour blend if you prefer. I'm just going to kind of fluff up the flour a little, scoop in, and level off. One. Next is 1/4 cup sugar. I love that about scones, that they're just kind of mildly sweet. Now we'll add 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Next step is 1/2 teaspoon salt. Now we'll give our dry ingredients a quick stir here. If you're wanting to get into fall baking but not wanting to make a big mess or huge time commitment, these scones are so wonderful, and they would be perfect for like a book club or a church group, or just a gift for a neighbor or just for yourself. And you can freeze scones. You can freeze them unbaked or baked. Now these scones don't have any butter in them, and I know that sounds really suspect. But I promise the heavy whipping cream does the job. So we're gonna add 1 1/4 cup of, I should probably open it first. 1 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. And I was just thinking this morning, I've gotta try this with coconut cream, because I know some of you don't drink milk. So I haven't tried it yet, but I do plan to try it with some coconut cream and see if it works. All right, I've gotta go let the dog out. I'll be right back. Now we'll add our 1/4 cup heavy cream to the bowl. Just kind of make a little well here if you like. Oh, actually, I forgot. We need to add vanilla to this. And I'm going to use 2 teaspoons vanilla extract. You can use almond or some other flavor if you like. 1, 2. Love this vanilla. It smells so good. Now I'll just whisk this together. I use the measuring cup as my bowl so I don't have to get out something else. Now we'll make a little well in the dry ingredients and add our heavy cream and vanilla. There we go. Now we'll mix this together. And whenever you're mixing for baked goods, pretty much always you don't want to over mix it, especially if you're using all-purpose flour, because mixing develops the gluten, which makes these more tough. So just mix just to combine. And it looks like a lot of liquid, but I promise it is just right. So just mix this together. So just to combine, you can see it's starting to come together here. It's kind of a sticky mass. We forgot the currants. I forgot the currants. You guys, I need an assistant, I think. Okay, so what I'm adding is 1/2 cup currants. And ideally you should add these after you stir together the dry ingredients, but if you're forgetful like me, not to worry, we can make this work. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're just gonna bring these in. If you don't have currants, you can use dried cranberries. You can use fresh apples. You can use peaches. You can use chocolate chips, blueberries. This one scone recipe can be made into all different delicious versions. Apple cinnamon is one of my favorites. So this is a recipe you've got to save, print it out, and then have some fun with it. All right, this is a Silpat mat that I use for pie making and a lot of different things where I just kind of want to contain the mess in one area, and it also prevents sticking to the counter. So this is really useful and helpful. I'll put a link to it in the description box if you're interested in getting one. If you don't have one, don't worry at all. You can do this on your counter, you can do it on a cutting board, whatever you have around. So I'm gonna add just a little bit of flour here to the mat, and then we'll bring out our dough. And then what we're gonna do is just shape this into about a 9 or 10 inch circle. So a little flour on my hands here on top, because it is sticky. Oh, it's so pretty. Just gonna press it out with my hands. You can use a rolling pin if you like, but I prefer to use as few tools as possible because it's less to clean up. Oh, there's the dog. Now she wants to come in. So this is about 8.5 inches or about 22 centimeters. We can make it a little bigger if we want, and it's about 3/4 of an inch tall. Okay, let me go let the dog in. Cocoa Puff is clearly in charge. She's the boss around here. Okay, you can press this out a little thinner, and this looks great. That's almost done. Now we're ready to bake. I'm gonna preheat the oven to 415 degrees, and we have a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. Okay, for this step, we're just gonna cut it into 8 triangles, and I like to use a nice long knife that'll get all the way across. It just makes it a little easier to cut. So you're gonna cut this in half. And then using 1/2 at a time, we'll cut that in half. This is the easiest way to get 4 fairly even triangles. And then cut that in half. Oh, I forgot. If it's a little sticky, you can put a little flour on the knife there. There we go. Cut this in half. And then we'll take our second half here and do the same thing. Cut in half, little flour on there. Cut in half again. While the oven's preheating, we're gonna brush some cream on the tops. So we have some cream and vanilla left in the little measuring cup that we use. So same measuring cup, I may just add just a little more. You don't need much. And then we'll take a little pastry brush and just brush this right on the tops. And this is my favorite part. I mean, how often do you get to paint? I don't paint very often, but I do love to paint in the kitchen. And this is so much fun if you have kids or grandkids that want to help out. They love this part. All right, now on that, we're gonna add some sugar in the raw. And I use this a lot in my baking. I sprinkle it on pie crust, on these scones. You can do it on muffins. It adds just a little sparkle and a little crunch. And I just have a big bin of this on hand, and then we'll just sprinkle on as much as you like. It is optional. Now we'll pop these in the oven at 415 degrees and bake for about 16 to 18 minutes. You want them just golden on the sides and the bottom, but you don't want to overcook them. So check them at 16 minutes and see how they look. All right, let's pop these in the oven. All right, it sounds like the scones are done, so I'm gonna grab them out of the oven. They look gorgeous and smell so good. Look at these. Can you believe that we made those with just 6 ingredients in a few minutes? Lovely. And we even made a mistake. We forgot to add the currants, so you can't mess these up. For the icing, we'll use 1/2 cup powdered sugar. And then 1 tablespoon milk. Now we'll give this a little whisk, and it really doesn't look like there's enough milk in there, but it does come together into a nice thick icing that drizzles just right. If you'd like to add some almond extract or vanilla or maybe some lemon zest, those would all be delicious. So we're just gonna stir it together Okay, and then you can see how this drizzles real nicely? We'll just drizzle that on the scones. Now we'll get to try a scone. It's so good. So soft, delicious. Yum. Thanks so much for joining us on Marie's Kitchen. Today we made these easy and delicious currant scones, which is 6 ingredients in one bowl, baked up in about 16 minutes. I can't wait for you to try them. If you like this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up. It means so much to me and also to YouTube. So hit that like button. Also, if you haven't yet, please subscribe. The more subscribers we get, the more videos we can make. So subscribe and also leave me a comment. Let me know if you're gonna try the scones. I can't wait to hear how you like them, and I love hearing from y'all. For this recipe and more, head over to my website, marieseva.com. There you can print out this recipe and all my recipes, and if you like, put them in a notebook and make your very own Marie's Kitchen cookbook for free. My goal is to give you some really easy recipes that turn out great every time so you can build some confidence in the kitchen and feel really inspired to share good food with people that you love. From my kitchen to yours, thank you.